The Royal Mint's premier coin series, the Queen's Beast Bullions, are now finished in glorious 1 ounce gold, quarter ounce gold and 2 ounce silver. But what's next for the series? Will there be a Queen's Beast Series 2? And how can we best yield a return on our bullion grade Queen's Beast collections? That and much more shall be discussed in today's Ponderous Wednesday. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a warm welcome to you all joining us for an overview, look and discussion about the Queen's Beast series. The last of the bullion versions have been released, which means we have now completed the quarter ounce gold, the wonderful 1 ounce gold series, oh look at that, and of course the 2 ounce silver. Now there are a few other sizes which I am currently collecting that aren't finished because they're on different schedules, the 10 ounce silver, quarter ounce gold proof and 1 ounce silver proof. I will perhaps do a full stack video of the entire Queen's Beast collection when it's done, but for now I wanted to focus on the bullion versions, which are finished, some of my thoughts on the series as a whole, what's next for the Royal Mint, how are they going to compete with themselves, also my thoughts on the series in terms of how to potentially release some of the premium that's inside these coins, yielding some profit hopefully, whether or not the collections are worth more than the sum of their parts as well. So a lot to get through in today's video. These boxes, by the way, make a phenomenal display unit for these coins. It's absolutely wonderful, lovely stuff from a chap on the silver forum called Alan. I'll try and remember to put a link to his profile down in the description. I don't know if he still makes or sells these boxes, but he certainly does some great work. The only thing that's bad about them is lighting for YouTube, because as you can see they just block all of the sunlight out. So I'm going to take the coins out of the boxes as we have a good fun chat about the series, which has no doubt been a very popular series. And I remember when the first edition came out, the Queen's Beast, the Queen's Beast Lion of England, I saw it and I was like, God, that's a nice looking coin. I certainly went for the silvers. Didn't really have gold on my radar at the time, but I remember the buzz in the community about these coins, about the series, about how good it looked, about the popularity of it. And that was enough for me to commit to certainly the silver, which we did. And then my stacking strategies changed and I angled more towards gold. So I actually started picking up these quarter ounce golds. And then I got a first of the 1 ounce golds and very quickly decided now was the time to backdate the first two. So I did, and now I've completed the 1 ounce gold series as well. So all told, it has been a personal favorite of mine, and I know a lot of other people have also felt that this series is an incredibly good one from the Royal Mint. Now, I have been very critical of the Royal Mint in the past on some of their different series, the Lunar series from the Royal Mint, which is in my opinion fairly garbage, and I think has been discontinued. I read somewhere that it was discontinued. I don't know if that was true or not, but it's regardless, it's discontinued in my mind anyway, because it is not a good series. But the Royal Mint knocked the ball out of the park with this particular coin series. There is no doubt that they did a great job for sure. And it's, I think, testament to the series, quite how popular it is, even just around the world. It's not just popular in the United Kingdom. People in the US, you know, all around the world will be collecting this series and targeting it as one for a long-term collection, or even potentially as a short-term profit-making flipping style collection. So it's definitely testament to the series, and you know, I think a lot of credit needs to go to the Royal Mint for its ingenuity in this design. Now, one of the things that is kind of interesting to think about going forward is what is next? How can the Royal Mint compete with themselves on this wonderful series? We will talk a little bit about that as we go through, but undoubtedly there is going to be questions about what needs to be done with the series going forward, not just from a collector's point of view and how we're going to all make as much money as possible from the series, but what's the Royal Mint going to do next with these coins? Because this collection is by far and away one of my favorites of all time. It's one that I am going to be reluctant to sell, sad to sell if and when that does happen. But it's, I think, one to hold for me anyway for the short term, with the exception of the quarter ounce golds. So we will talk a little bit about that as we go. First though, I do just want to touch on what might be next for for the Royal Mint and for the Queen's Beast series. Now, one of the things that was really good about this series was its eclectic nature. There's 10 different designs. They've all got a very similar theme, but they are all wonderfully designed. You know, Jodie Clark has done an incredible job at all of these. Of course, there are some of these animals which are less attractive than others. You know, you can't really make a bull sexy, but you can make a unicorn or a dragon or a griffin a lot more sexy. So there's definitely, you know, individual coin designs within there that some people don't like as much. But I think generally as a set, as a collection, they are wonderful. And the Royal Mint is going to have a hard time outdoing themselves into the future on this particular design, if they do decide to do it. Now, I wouldn't put it past the Royal Mint to go down the line of having a Queen's Beast Series 2 edition or release. I think that the popularity of this series will warrant enough for them to consider it. I would advise against it. I think it would potentially ruin almost a little bit of the special nature of this series. I think that it would be a mistake to do it. I think if they're going to do it, they have to do it right. It has to be done, it has to be fresh, new, it has to add something to the series. It really can't just be a rehashing of the same themes. It can't be. It just not look good. There is an argument to be said if they do a second series that actually the first series will continue to rise in value because it is the first, it is the best, and unless the Royal Mint really come up with something absolutely groundbreaking, it's going to be very hard to actually, got those the wrong way around, look at that, there we go, my inner neuroses. It's going to be very hard to actually top what they've done already, and as such this first edition series will continue to rise in value and popularity over any second ones. But also I do think that a poor showing on a second series might put people off generally. So I don't know, there's two schools of thought on that side of things. In terms of what I think should happen, I think they should just leave it as it is. One of the concerns that I had about this series at the start, well, not necessarily concerns, but little intrigues about it, was good old Queenie. So Queenie here on the reverse of these coins. You know, she's no spring chicken, and it's inevitable, it's a fact of life, that one day she will no longer be with us. And there was, you know, potential interesting scenario to be had. What would happen if she popped her clogs midway through the series? Would the Royal Mint breach with 1,000 years worth of tradition and keep an older dead monarch on the coins? Or would they change the Queen's Beast series to be half Queen's Beasts and half King's Beast, with Prince Charles now becoming King Charles? So there was definitely sort of some intrigue about that, or whether or not that would be an issue. Of course, with the bullion versions now completed, that is less so of an issue. However, there are, of course, a few other coins still to be released. The 10 ounce has 2 more editions still to come, which will take us to the back end of next year, most likely. So still potentially time for that series to happen. But my point here is that it is probably the last complete big series that we will see from Queenie. You know, she is, as I said, no spring chicken, and it's unlikely that these coins, sort of a new 10 coin series, will go through her lifespan. If they do another Queen's Beast series, it's going to have to be like this one, 2 a year, maybe even 3 a year, to try and get it all done and dusted. That was another really good thing about this series. So rather than just 1 edition per year, there were multiples. There were 2 editions coming out per year. So we've got 2016, back end of 2016 for the Lion, and then it was 2 17s, 2 18s, 2 19s, 2 20s, now we've got a 2021 as well. So it's good to have that. I think it keeps your customer base engaged with the series. It keeps them interested about when the next coin is coming out, makes them less likely to forget about it as well. So lots of really good things that the Royal Mint did with this series, and I hope that they kind of take those lessons on board for other series going forwards into the future. One of the things that I have always thought about this series was it is something really special about British history and culture and monarchy, and our love for monarchy. I know there are some people who don't love the monarchy, but generally speaking, as a nation, we are pro monarchy. And you know, the whole point of this is a celebration of everything British. And I think the only way that a new sort of Queen's Beast series could surpass or at least meet expectations of this, if it was something along those same themes and lines. So we'll see what the Royal Mint decides to do. Now, in terms of my own preference for this series, about what I'm going to do with them, There is a lot of money locked up in this series for me. Now, you can see that on the table here, we have 12.5 ounces worth of gold. That alone is worth quite a significant sum of cash. Of course, we've got the premiums on top of that too. So there's going to be arguments in my mind about what is the right course of action for these particular coins. When is the right time to actually sell them and release those premiums? Are these coins as a collection worth more? Now, at any time that a coin series finishes, when the last one comes out, that is always an opportunity to look to cash in on a series, or at least the earlier editions within the series, because the ones at the start, the Griffin, the Lion and the Dragon, and to a certain extent the Unicorn and Falcon, are now starting to increase in premium value. And now is the time to act, I think, if you really want to try and cash in on some of those higher premiums. Now, there is an argument to be said that the premiums will continue to rise over time. This series, in my opinion, is globally popular, and I think that those premiums will hold. But at the same time, people who joined the series midway through, just finished up with the White Greyhound, will now be looking to perhaps backdate and get hold of some of the earlier editions. So in terms of whether a collection is going to be more valuable than the sum of its parts, no, I don't think that's actually true. I think generally speaking, any collection is always going to be worth what each individual coin within it yields you. And often, if you are looking to sell it as a collection to one individual person, you're going to have to find somebody with a significant amount of cash. Of course, 10 ounces worth of gold just at spot price is nearly £14,000. With premiums, you're probably looking at closer to £16,500 to £17,000. So somebody's going to have some serious clout and cash to actually finish or to cash out on that series. However, trying to slowly find those individual buyers for the first editions with those premiums on top is a lot more potentially practical. Now, am I going to do that? That's the question. No. In my opinion, I think that certainly the 1 ounce golds are the key coins in the series. Those are the ones to hold. The silvers, in my opinion, are, it's going to sound a little bit harsh, but they're kind of almost like the junk of the series for me. I'm going to hold them because I enjoy the way they look in that box, and for me to keep, we've got 20 ounces of silver there. I know 20 ounces of silver is nothing to be sniffed at, but at the comparison level to the gold, it's peanuts in terms of cash that's locked up. So I will probably be keeping the 2 ounce silvers for ever, I think, or at least until I really have to sell them, because I really want to keep something that reminds me of the series, and this entire collection is personified within those 2 ounce silvers without having to lock up £15,000 worth of gold. So the silvers in that sense are a kind of a bit of a throwaway set of coins for me. The gold is where potential premium lies, and the 1/4 ounce gold, these tiny little ones here, which I originally started collecting, which were the sort of first golds of the series that I collected that I wanted to target to finish, they're going to be the ones that go. They're going to be the ones that I think I'm going to sell within the next year, potentially when the back end of the series of the 10 ounce silvers have come out in total. I think those will probably be, I mean, it's not a certain thing, those will probably be the first ones to go. And the reason for that is that the 1/4 ounce golds were higher premium to start with. On average, they're around about 15% over spot price. So they are representing a kind of premium locked up value right now. And I do want to look to cash that out and potentially get myself some other pieces of gold which are not as high premium. And if I can cash out even at the same premium level that I purchased them at, of course, some of the earlier ones which were a lot cheaper, in fact these 1/4 ounce ones, I've all got written on their capsules where I have purchased them from. So you can see here some of the very stark differences. In fact, yeah, so they're not quite in the right order. Let's get them in the right order, and that would be really interesting to see. You can see when and how much I've paid for them, and also where we purchased them from. So Griffin, yeah. So you can see here at the back end of the series, we've got 2 coins which are significantly more expensive than the first, especially when you now come back up here to the second lot, where there are very nice low cheap prices of these coins. And if we can get some released profit on the earlier editions and retain the premiums on the later editions, I think that's a good way for me to be able to add some more lower premium gold, which is in my opinion a little less difficult to sell in a pinch, in a rush. So that's probably my tactic for the quarter ounce gold. It's really interesting to see that. As you can see, I've bought the vast majority from Atkinson's right up till the 6th of the series, and then I went to Europe for the rest of them. And that was just simply because when you do the maths of just buying one from somewhere like Atkinson's, compared with buying just one and adding into a huge number of other things from European Mint Group orders or Gold Silver.be orders, it actually worked out almost the same price, if not a little bit less sometimes. So that's going to answer a lot of your questions. Certainly on the premium side of things for these coins, the premium is what drives that. The 1 ounce golds all from Atkinson's here in the United Kingdom. So yeah, there's definitely a school of thought for me on the quarter ounces being the ones to go first. Now, in terms of where I really want this series to go, I want the series to continue to grow. I think that the 1 ounce golds will continue to grow in value. I'm not going to be cashing out on those coins anytime soon, I don't think. I mean, the only real way I'll do that is if I think all of them really start to massively increase in value. But even then, you know, it's about picking the right time to actually release the equity in these coins, because, you know, if a coin series is starting to really kind of go up in value, the argument is that it could go up even more in value over time. And I think, as with the quarter ounce golds, the only way that I would look to sell those would be to fund other purchases of gold down the line, perhaps in a few years when these coins are all done and dusted and perhaps people are starting to forget about the Queen's Beast series. And that's where I want to kind of finish the video by saying that if the Royal Mint does decide to bring in a Queen's Beast Series 2, I think actually it's going to do more benefit than damage to the first editions. We've seen with Perth Mint, for example, the Lunar series, the first edition Lunar series still hold ridiculously high premiums, and even the Lunar series 2, the first editions of those particular coins, hold really, really good premiums, even to this day. They are the flagship of the series, and that is what this is. And if the Queen's Beast series does continue into the future, I think these will only go up in value even further. So that is my thoughts on the Queen's Beast series bullion. I think it's a really wonderful series. I'm sad to see it finish, actually. Like, it's been part of my stacking journey over this last 4 years of doing YouTube. It's been a long time in the making to get it all done. I'm really proud of the fact that we have managed to be able to do this and continue to be able to bring these coins together, especially the 1 ounce golds. So all told, I'm really happy with this collection. I think it's wonderful. I think it's certainly one for the books. And one last shout out does need to be given to Alan for his wonderful coin boxes. They are absolutely fantastic. If you've not checked his work out over on the Silver Forum, then I'll try and, as I said, remember to put a link down below. If I've not, then please do just let me know. So that's the Queen's Beast series. I hope that you all got some value out of this video. If you have, please do hit that thumbs up button and share this around on your social media. That would be very helpful. And if you want to see videos from us in the future, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. Nearly 70% of all the views on this channel come from people who are not subscribed. So you, in there, if you're watching and not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and see if we can get to 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year. According to Social Blade, we are touching on 30,000 on Christmas Day. What a Christmas present that would be to reach 30,000 on Christmas Day. So let's see if we can keep that up and get to 30k before the end of the year. That would be a really nice Christmas present for me. Thanks one and all for watching. Take care, stay happy, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you on the next one. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.